Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Flea and I are back as we continue our look into horror anime with Death Note, episodes 25 to 30. An intelligent high school student goes on a secret crusade to eliminate criminals from the world after discovering a notebook capable of killing anyone whose name is written into it. Welcome back, Flea. Here we are again. The penultimate stream of this series.
Pardon? Sorry, what's that?
We're on the penultimate stream of this series. Only one more to go.
We are, Mike. Seven more to go, and that's it. We hit the finale.
Yep. I have to say, I enjoyed this. Because I think we were talking last time, we were getting a bit fatigued with the same game of cat and mouse between L and Light.
Which is now no more.
Yep. So we start off with silence, and yeah, we're getting these flashbacks. I think it's L's childhood and his life.
Yeah, it is, because it's like he lost his parents at a very young age and grew up in an orphanage.
But as it turns out, it's not just any orphanage.
No, it's Professor Xavier's School for Mutants.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
The Death Note version.
Yeah. Except Wendell doesn't have a wheelchair.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's Wendell who's pulling the strings behind that.
Yeah, it's a bit well, Wendell's basically Alfred, let's be honest. Wendell's the one that's assigned to L, or took him in after the what do you call it? After he took him out, after he spent time in the orphanage, I mean, I don't know whether he's been assigned as part of, is this an organization or what? I think that's something deeper we'll have to look at, isn't it?
It's like in the ones we've just watched, there is mentioning like Wendell runs an orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it's like Wendell is kind of like the mastermind behind L, and more characters are coming into it.
Yeah, well, that's I suppose we're getting set up for. But we're seeing basically the investigations carrying on. We see Light and Mesa. They're acting as if Light is acting as if they're coupled, but L's looking at him, and you just see a cold, dead stare that he's just going through the motions. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's like that kind of look where you're never sure what's going on behind those eyes. You're never sure what he's thinking.
It's interesting because they're two sides of the same coin, or opposite sides of the coin. Mesa and Light, I'm thinking, because Mesa is all heart in her sleeve, completely projecting outward affection. I just get nothing in return from Light, but she's almost doing it for both of them.
It's almost as if she feels that it comes across that she feels that she owes Light because Light is responsible for the death of her parents' killers. This keeps coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually thinking that it's like there may be times when Misa is starting to have second thoughts.
Yeah, we are seeing that because as this progresses. So Misa is basically, she's been tasked, she's continuing to use the Death Note.
Yeah.
The killings are ramping up again.
But it's kind of like it's instantly put her back in the line of fire.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder what the plan is. Like what on earth is they're getting from this, because they've just taken out Yotsuba. They've tied that up. So it's almost like they're going backwards, getting Misa involved, starting up the killings again, getting L basically to hone in.
There is a moment when you're kind of like, hang on, why are they doing this again? He's like, are they going to like put her in like some weird chair for another like couple of months. It's like, what's the point behind this? It doesn't make sense why he sent Misa out to start killing again, and the first person they're going to expect of doing it is Misa.
Yeah. But that makes the reveal even more sinister. Because it's not Elle that Light's playing the game with. It's actually Rem. And you're like, what?
That is it. It is. It's like it's almost like he's getting rid of another rival, but the way he's doing it, the way he's going about it, is just so casual. It's almost like he doesn't even care.
And the complete irreverence to a god of death, just they're just another pawn in his mind to be played with. Meets it up that Elle is going to target her, and the only person that can stop this is Rem. And he's effectively put the ball in Rem's court, right? What are you going to do? If you love Misa, you're going to rescue her.
Gnashed about it a lot. I'm enjoying watching Death Note, but after like episodes straight of Death Note, I am ready for a bit of a break from Death Note.
Yeah, that's a recap.
Yeah, I watched it. I started watching. I was like, oh, it's the flashback one, because it's like they don't do it so much.
Yeah, that's where we're going to the next one, Abduction. This is a bit of a dark episode. This is where things go completely different direction.
I've got to be honest. I like this episode because stuff happens in it.
Mm-hmm. But this is exactly what would happen if the world knew there was an ultimate power, i.e., the Death Note. This would be, countries would go to war to get hold of it.
Yes, they would.
I mean, it's Light isn't the only power-hungry maniac in the world. I mean, there's no shortage of them. So this is just playing that out, one of the scenarios. But we meet Mello and Near, who are basically the next two up. That Elle was going to announce one as his heir. Which is a bit freaky. Like these are kids,
I love the fact that like Wendell is there. Near is in the room. Mello comes in, and Wendell. What's it? Hang on, it can't be Wendell. Wendell's dead.
I don't think I'll have the name of this person.
Wendell 2.0.
Yeah, it's basically whoever's taken over the institute.
Wendell's twin brother. We'll call him Alfred.
Mm-hmm. No, Alfred's dead. Be the chief advisor.
But also that he can get one over on Near.
Yeah. That's all it's about. These are people who are prepared to watch the world burn just to serve their own ends.
Proper villain at last.
Because what we don't see is, okay, how many people's lives have been destroyed by this cartel while Near was making them more efficient and building up his base,
Yeah, but I kind of like Light's response where he's like, oh no, Director Takamura has been kidnapped. I'll kill him.
That wasn't even an afterthought, was it?
Light Mel, mate. There are other options than just killing them. But I can't remember his reasoning behind killing him.
It was so that we get a copy of the Death Note. So they're using him as a bargaining chip to get the Death Note. So he's like, "Nah, you're dead then."
Wow.
but in doing so, he's revealed that access to which they knew anyway, but has access to the police.
I mean, it's a great plan. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, not a thing. It's all going to go swimmingly.
I can't think of anything that will possibly go wrong.
Oh, what you mean? Nothing like his sister getting kidnapped?
No. Why would they kidnap his? Oh. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, it's the bad guys. Director Takamura is dead. Which is why we've kidnapped your daughter, Sue. That's probably the first time you actually see Light worried.
Yeah, it's sort of come home to him. And I don't know, I always thought that was the line he was, when it came to his family. But I guess it's also going to show in how detached is he?
It was. Yeah, I wonder, it's like, whoa, what's his reaction going to be here? Oh no, I'll have to kill her as well. Really? Really?
Yeah. So
Damn, it's...
The one Chief Yagami, or sorry, he's Deputy Director Yagami. That's right, he's been promoted.
Yes, they want him to take the Death Note.
And then this is where N gets in touch with L, or sorry, yeah, the whole LN thing.
You forgot the most important part of this episode.
Oh, do tell.
The most important detail. The moment where they're there going like, we've got to do something. We must take this book in, and then Misa arrives
and
to tell everyone she's going to bed wearing a negligee.
That was so random. I was like, this is not the time for it. I mean,
well, to Misa, when does she ever make sense?
Yeah, that was like, wow, okay, that's the distraction, but
yeah, it's almost as if the people creating this came around and said, like, you know what? Misa hasn't been in this episode. She's been in every other episode so far since she arrived. She hasn't been in this one.
Yeah, I just need to insert her in, but the fact nobody noticed as well shows the intensity as well. Because she hasn't, I don't think she knew.
No. But then again, how much of what's going on does Light?
No, probably not. That's only just happened, and yeah.
I think we've said before, now she is gone. She's pretty much just a tool.
Mm-hmm. This next episode, Impatience, I think as well, because we've been used, I think we've used it going around the merry-go-round. The fact that this is going completely different directions now can throw people, if that makes sense. Because the pace and everything's just completely changed now. So have L and N basically they're starting to butt heads or test and fit each other out.
It's all very familiar though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've got to be honest, the last episode and this episode I really enjoyed. It was like, if you think about it, there was nothing new in it was different. Because it's like, whereas L was very, very slow, very methodical, N comes across as being a little bit more impatient.
Mm-hmm.
Also, instead of eating all the cake, he's got to think about dice.
And games, just in general, that's his outlet.
It's like toy trains at their age, honestly.
Oh, it's all dark. I need to get this lit up better. Time to change this all again. I need to get lights from a wee train set that I built because you can already see it.
Didn't go on.
Yeah, and then obviously Near with his chocolate.
Yes.
This whole idea, light as well, is like, Dad, don't do it. Don't put yourself at risk.
Thing is, you see, right, light, and how much of that is Kira?
That's what we don't know. This is the ultimate. All throughout this, the only person Light has ever respected in his life is his father. So we believe.
It's like his father is the reason he's become a police officer. Well, yeah, it's like I like the fact that you get this huge like plea to his father, not to let someone else do it, not to put himself in danger. And then a few minutes later, he's casually standing in the bathroom, going like, "Oh, yeah, I might have to kill my sister."
Yeah, Misa.
And I love the fact that Misa is like standing outside, listening to what he's saying.
Yeah, this is the bit where it starts over these next couple of episodes. It starts to unravel. That Misa's just a tool. She's starting to realize, but she's still holding on to that, love as such. And if he's prepared to kill his own sister, then, and even his own father, then there's nobody that means anything to him.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the flight, the fact that so he flies into LA and then somebody appears behind him and redirects him to another flight.
Oh yeah, because of course the book swap happened in Japan. We're going to travel like halfway across the world.
But that's the thing. I suppose that adds a bit of something to it. That if this knowledge that this thing existed got out, people would, it could be anywhere in the world. You have to use America in this case, but it could be anywhere, Russia or China, any interested party with power would do anything to get their hand. So she didn't just shake it off, and go on with their life. She was damaged by it, which makes sense. I think every so often we need to, as the audience, to be reminded of the human cost of these games. This is where like megalomania and narcissism go too far, and they'll happily destroy everybody just for their own ends, and they don't care. With a bit of a comedic element because we've now got Sidhu chasing Ryuk about.
I like Sito. Sito is my favourite character in this episode, I've got to be quite honest.
Yeah, he's like, give me my Death Note back. Give me my Death Note back. I want my Death Note. What have you done with it?
I don't know where it is now. I can't give you back. It's not good enough. Give me my Death Note back.
Would you leave me alone? No, give me my Death Note back. Just all the way through. So Ryuk's like,
are you still following me? Yes, until you give me my Death Note back. It's...
So that's right, because there are 3 Death Notes in play. Because Ryuk had 2, Rem had 1.
Yes. Because Ryuk has still got his Death Note and the Death Note that he gave to Light.
Yeah.
Right. Rem had her Death Note and Jealous's Death Note, which she gave to Misa. I'm guessing that the Death Note that Ryuk gave to Light is Sito's Death Note.
This
If
is
you
where it
think
gets-
about it, there are, as well as the one that, as well as the one that, including the one that Ryuk has his own Death Note, there are 4 Death Notes in play.
Oh, good point, actually. Yeah, I forgot about Jealous.
Poor Jealous. The things that gods of death do for love.
And Ren did exactly the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is where they start to investigate, and this is where Light finds out about the Academy and Mello and Near and the rivalry between them.
Mm.
And what this is all about. It's not actually anything to do with Kira. Kira's just a foil. This has been a long-standing thing.
Mm. But I wouldn't. It's like, because it's a bit confusing with the way it words it. Is Kira a foil or is Kira the goal? Is what they're doing a competition
It
in order
is.
to? It's like,
Whoever-
let's see who can catch Kira first.
Yeah, but it could easily transpose that with anything. As I say, Kira just happens to be the current goal, but this will never end. But between those two, doesn't matter how many victories, it'll always be like Mello feels intimidated by Near because he's over emotional and Near isn't, and that's always unnerving.
I've got to be honest. It comes across as an inferiority complex.
Yeah, because he
He's
can't.
terrified that he's not up to par with Nia. I keep wanting to call Nia she because he's totally voiced by a woman. I think it's because he's supposed to be some effeminate kind of character.
Or just young, like Bart Simpson was voiced by a woman.
Mm.
It's just because they're, it makes sense. Pre-pubescent. The balls haven't dropped yet.
Just how old is Nia?
That's the thing about these ones. You can't really tell. They're like mid-teens or if that. I mean, they're meant to be. I think that's meant to be the scary thing. That these are exceptional people, but they're not even like 20 yet. And they already rule the world.
What's the old saying? Genius knows no age, or something like that.
That's a whole trope that's being played with here. That these, that's the whole thing. The prodigies, isn't it? They don't have a normal childhood. They can't operate.
Yeah. Like when you see a video going like, "This is my 4-year-old son playing the piano. Look how amazing he is!" And it's all, let him have a childhood.
Yeah, it's one of them. Is the price worth it?
That is the question.
But yeah, this is what does like get Misa to do? He gets her to keep on killing, doesn't she?
Yeah, he sets Misa to find out as much as she can about this about like this academy,
and
kind of find it out as much as possible. Find out their names and put them in her death book. But then again, this is around the time that Light is explaining to Ryuk that he's expecting a letter because he's going to find out where the guys who want the Death Note are. Because he's what is it? Some prisoner or something. He's told he's because they know his name. He's told the leader of the gang through the Death Note to write his like information and address and everything on and to post it to him. And he's expecting a letter because as he walks through the door to their apartment, Misa comes bouncing across the room in what is basically a bustier and a thong.
yeah, and the fact that Light doesn't even blink.
Yeah, I'd have blinked. I'd totally blinked.
But That's the whole thing about this, because she is revered the world over. You know what I mean? She's a fan. We keep forgetting that she's a fan base and stuff, and he's just treating her like she's nothing. And that's that. Like I said, that's just a demonstrating his disconnection from humanity. That he's just completely devoid of it. I actually think it's not just titillation; it's serving a purpose.
Because he doesn't even mention the fact that she's like pretty much bouncing around half naked. It's just kind of like he doesn't even like sweep it under the rug, so to say. He just ignores the entire thing. And when she's like boing boing boing, like you've had a letter. Go and get me the letter.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's not even enjoying the experience. You know, if despite being powerful, is that what powerful people want? They want, hedonism as well. You know, it's all about the experience, but he's not even enjoying her. That's how he, like, cut off. I mean, it's actually quite clever the way they're using her in this.
Because
that's the whole point. We're seeing light.
It's almost like she's a very outgoing, very out there kind of character. But it's almost like, how can I put this? It's almost like that they're using her as an expression of normality.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like here is what would be in real life, an incredibly beautiful woman that people, probably because of their modeling career, people the world over would like to spend time with. Because think about it, she's about the same age as Light, so she's like 21, 22 now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, here's a beautiful young woman with a career. And
people
it's
would
like
give their right arm to get her even a remote bit of her attention.
People would give their right arm to be in like Light's position now, living with her. And he's just totally ignoring the fact.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's a perfect demonstration of his disconnection from humanity.
So it's like,
that's what needs
like there's normality, which I think if he was in a normal relationship, it wouldn't show just how removed Light is. But because he's in such a think of a word, bouncy. Because he's in such a bouncy relationship with such a beautiful woman, and he's like a complete. He's basically a wet fish. It just kind of like sits there on a stone cold slab and doesn't move, doesn't do anything.
Like, I think in this series, I don't think they've even had sex. Not that we had to see it, but I don't think they have.
I still hold by what I insinuated earlier. I think the only person in this, if there is any person in this anime who would like sexually excite Light, it would be himself.
Yeah. Or he's maybe not capable.
He's a massive narcissist. Yeah. Narcissists can only be in love with themselves, because that's what narcissism is.
Yeah. But I actually think he's not. I actually think he would have like erectile dysfunction. I don't think he's capable of doing the deed. I think he's that disconnected that does not work. Like, even being a narcissist, he would still have, still flesh and blood. He would still get aroused. And the fact that he's completely not reacting at all.
I'm going to put it from Light's point of view. Would a god need such a thing?
Yeah, but that's, that's, if you wanted to get, I'm not a clinical psychologist, but if you were to look into it, that would be one of the symptoms. I think he wouldn't actually be able to perform it, but what he's done is it's not a thing to him.
So I'm going to agree with you.
He has to go through.
Well, welcome, audience, to Anime Psychology 101.
No, but that's what I like about that's what I like about this show, is that it's given us character insights, and it's using things using examples, using situations that if anybody who wasn't broken, because light is broken, let's be honest, they would react to in certain ways, and the fact that they completely don't is showing something. It's showing us without explaining to us. Do you remember they used to do that? They used to, show, not tell. You didn't have this whole 10-minute exposition of what he'd be like as a, nobody's given a psychological profile in light and explained to us all this stuff. We're just seeing it through subtle hints.
It's a clever piece of anime. It really is.
But this is the bit where Saito then goes to LA to get his Death Note back.
Because this is where Sito gets his lead, because it's like if Light takes his letter, opens it up, inside it is a small card, like a business card, and it's got a name and an address written on it. And he's like, "Yes, this is the information we need." Light sets fire to it, puts it in an ashtray, because of course his apartment's got an ashtray in it. And it's like Sito, who Rook hasn't even mentioned is there, of course, just leans over and reads the address before it burns up. And as Light is saying, "I'm going to LA," Sito's already spread his wings in his way.
I have to say, it's still funny when we see Shimigami's introduce themselves to the mortal world and the reaction.
Well, I've got to be honest, it'd be the same. It's what happens if you like what happened if like you found something and you touched it and all of a sudden one of Clyde Barker's Hellraisers was standing in front of you. It's I can. I mean, it's bad enough when you go into something like a haunted house and something that you're not expecting pops out in front of you, even though you know it's just like a piece of wood with cobwebs and a sheet put over it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I'd react.
But that's because we're watching these and we get sort of desensitized, to Shimigami running about the place. So it's good to be reminded that these are gods of death. They're not a part of the world.
Shinigami, but in the end, putting it into its basis, putting it down to its basics. I apologize to any anime fans who are watching this. They are just cartoon characters. They are just kind of like drawings. It's like, I mean, just imagine what Ryuk would look like if he was actually flesh and blood. Also, we're used to these things because we've seen them since episode 1.
So that's what I mean. This is a good reminder, of that the world's finding out about these. It's only select groups. It's not common knowledge that Shimigami exist.
But I like the way that Sito arrives. And he's basically like, it's like Mello is sitting there with this guy and there's someone on the computer doing something, and he's like, what was it that Ryuk told me? In order to get in to see me, the person who owns the book has to touch it. And he's looking around, he's like, the guy at the computer hasn't got a date over his head. So he just picks the book up out of Mello's hand, and Mello's like, "Oh, the book's flying." And then he's like, "Yutta," and drops it on the bloke's head.
Yeah, and it just everyone freezes out.
At which bloke, the bloke starts screaming and pointing. "I'm not lying, boss. Honest, it's right there. I haven't gone crazy. Everything I'm saying is true. Don't shoot me." He says, "If you want to see him, you've all got to touch the book as well."
Which is interesting. So the person that owns the book has to touch it first. Then it can be passed on.
Yeah. Because like we know the police squad back in Japan, everybody can see Ryuk. Because they all took the Death Note. Oh no! Right.
They can see. They could see Rem.
There is a part.
There?
There is a part in one of these episodes where I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure someone. No, I'm very sure. I'm positive. Somebody from the squad speaks to Ryuk.
God, I've messed up. Right, because the last bit I remember was when the Yotsuba bit, where L gets the book. Basically the police see it and they see Rem, right? Then the next phase of the operation comes in because Misa comes back and she touches Light on the back with a page. And then it's only Light sees Ryuk. I don't think anybody else knows Ryuk's there. Apart from Misa and Light.
I'll watch it. I shall watch it.
I honestly think that's, they've been used the RAM and stuff like that there, but I don't think anybody. Oh, there's the same with the Apple.
Because that's
But that doesn't make sense.
That's one. That's damn. What is his name? Is the foolish one who got them into with because it's like yes, he gives him the apple because he gives him the answer he doesn't want, and he takes the apple back off him again.
Mm-hmm. I've messed up.
So at some time, they must have switched to the Death Note. Oh no, we're gonna have to do a second watch through.
Yeah, God, I've messed up. I've completely. Yeah, that bit was throwing me about as well because I'm like, I know that they all knew about Rem. I know that there's because now we're getting the bit. There's the 2 Death Notes in play. Yeah, I'm.
There's you can very easily lose track of how many Death Notes are in play.
Yeah, because there's literally 4 Death Notes in play and just swapping about, and it with all the chopping and changing, and people discovering. I can't remember the bit Ryuk was actually. Maybe that was the fast forward bit that sometime during the 5 years.
It very well could have been. I've got no idea. I just remember. I didn't remember. I couldn't remember who it was, but I just remember someone talking to Ryuk. I'm pretty sure there's a scene where someone asks him a question in front of a computer as well.
Yeah, it was Matsuma. Yeah, I suppose we'll have to. But is that because the Death Notes are in police custody? Because Rem's one's still hidden. The criminal gang have C2's Death Note.
Yeah, because
Ryuk still has his own.
Yeah, Ryuk has his Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
Misa has one. But because I think that Death Note is why Light asked her to move in with him. So he's got Death Note. Every time they seem to be together, he's like, put that name in your Death Note.
Yep. So is that Jealous's Death Note?
Yeah. That's. See, this is where I get confused because right.
Track the Death Notes, folks.
Right, here we go. In episode 1, Ryuk gives Light a Death Note. Yeah.
But not his.
That is Sito's Death Note. Yeah. It must be because it's the one that Ryuk found. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is Sito's Death Note. Rem gave Misa Jealous's Death Note.
Yep.
Which is like, this is yours. Yeah. When Rem basically killed herself to save Misa, Light took her Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One of those death notes. Right. The death note that Sito's death note, the death note that Ryuk gave Light, is the one that's in police custody.
That's the one that's ended up in LA.
And that's the one that was exchanged for Siu.
So at some stage,
You
Ryuk's been
see,
revealed.
you
Think of
can't
that,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't see it, but you know, in detective dramas, you have like the wall with all the pictures and the pieces of coloured string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got one of those. All about
Yes,
Death Note.
I think that's me. Track the Death Notes. At some stage,
Track
which
the
we
Death
haven't
Notes.
seen, Ryuk's been revealed to everybody, and they're okay
Yeah.
with it. We just haven't seen that bit because it wasn't up until the flash forward. That wasn't a thing.
Well, it kind of makes sense that if they've got a Death Note and they know Shinigami exists.
No, but there's specific rules about which Shinigami, you know, it has to be their Death Note that they get touched with to see them. Which is...
It makes no sense.
It
Because
doesn't actually. This is tripping itself up because...
Yeah, the Death Note,
Ryuk's own
Death Note
personal
they've
Death
been
Note.
isn't Ryuk's Death Note, it's Sito's.
Yep. Is it because Ryuk took ownership of it?
It could, but in order to take ownership of it, the previous Shinigami has to give up the book. Yeah.
Or lose the book?
Honestly, Sito hasn't given up his book because he's still looking for it.
But he lost it, and we don't know anything about the Shinigami King. But the fact that Ryuk petitioned the Shinigami King,
The king told him to go and find it.
was that something?
That was like it was at the beginning where you see Sito talking to the other Shinigami.
Yep.
He's talking about his meeting with the king.
So is that some sort of... yeah, this is like the cups. You know, the 3 cups with the ball underneath.
Except
there's 4 cups and they've got Death Notes underneath.
This is no, it's 3 cups and one of them has got 2 Death Notes underneath. No confusing at all.
Give me 1 second.
Unfortunately, like with these, I actually think.
I'm gonna dip away a second. You just carry on with that thought, okay?
Right. I actually think the story of Death Note is written in such a way as to trip people up, so that they actually they come to conclusions that aren't necessarily what is happening in the plot. It's an incredibly well-written story, but the complexity is out of this world. And if you lose track for a moment, that's it. Everything falls to pieces. I've been taking so many notes watching this damn thing. Colin, hurry up. So yeah, Sito arrives in LA, introduces himself to the criminal network, explains all about Shinigami and Death Notes and how everything works, and discovers that he likes chocolate. Sito is a Shinigami after my own heart. I don't want to go any further without Colin being here. But, yeah, and
right.
So, right, welcome back.
Right, mystery solved. Let's carry on with the plot. So they've now decided they're going to get the Death Note back, and they've tracked down the gang. This is the bit where Yagami is going to make the deal for the eyes.
See, this is it. This is the part where it dawned on me that they must have contact with Luke, because he makes the deal with Luke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just somewhere along the line it's got missed, and I think it's during the fast forward period that Ray was visible because
I totally understand why he's making the deal. He's avenging his daughter.
mm-hmm. Which makes sense, and he's basically the plan is to take out Mello.
He was like, Mello is. I think I know we've got Near, but I honestly think that Mello is the biggest threat to Kira at the moment.
Yeah, because he's unpredictable and he's prepared to go to any lengths.
Yeah, because it's like Near is kind of like Near is sitting there. Near is following like following the tenets of the law and doing anything legally. Mello is way more of a wild card.
Mm-hmm. And you can't control someone like that, and
no.
And also if he does beat Near, then he'll fixate on Light / Kira.
Mm.
So that'll carry, I mean, it'll never be enough. That's just the type of personality Mello is. I like the way that Ryuk grabs C2. And just tell him to shut up, you'll enjoy this. He'll get your book back. Don't ruin the fun.
He's you evil person.
But this is the thing, this is what he's enjoying. It's all the intrigue, the shenanigans, the death, you know, that's what's amusing them.
Mm. But it's like this is, damn it, is this before or after the scene with Misa? There's a scene with Misa and Ryuk and Light where Light gives away ownership of his Death Note again to Misa, because he's kind of like, don't worry, this just means for the time being you're going to be Kira and you need to do exactly as I say, because she's the one who like writes the gangsters' books into the Death Note to kill them, because that's when Chief Yagami makes the deal with Ryuk to get Shinigami eyes, because it's like, can you see like the names and the dates of birth on the photographs I've given you? Right. When those disappear, that's your cue to like assault the building.
Because Misa already still has the Shinigami eye, so she was setting that up anyway.
Mm. And then the noise from the building goes like, now attack.
That's the thing as well. Can Japanese police actually carry out raids on US soil?
No, they can't.
Very, very grey territory. This, isn't it? The very Black
it's
Ops
like,
type stuff.
Yes, they can, but only in the Death Note universe.
Yeah, because that will cause all sorts of a stink.
The raid would be done by, of course, like American forces, but the Japanese would be allowed to like tag along to see it was done properly, but wouldn't actually be allowed to do anything physical.
Sure, there's a whole thing there. US military police in Tokyo carrying their weapons, and the Japanese freaked out about it because they were outside their camp walking down the street or something. They had their weapons on them.
Yeah, because it's like they like outside of the camp, like the camp, the military camp is technically like US sovereignty. Yeah, it's American, it's US soil. The moment the MP steps off that camp, he's a civilian. He has no jurisdiction. It's the same if like a policeman from London went over to New York. He still wouldn't be a policeman.
Yeah, no, it's I'll use Cyprus as an example because that's the only one I'm familiar with. You had military police, obviously, from all over. They could come and grab you if you misbehaved, but they had absolutely no authority anywhere else. So say you're going to do a bar fight, the military police, your own military police could grab you, but they couldn't. Say we got into a fight with Americans in the middle of Piscataway or something, right? The American military police could only grab the Americans. The British military police could only grab the British. The civilian police of the separate civilian police could grab everybody, if that makes sense. But yeah, nobody was allowed to carry weapons. That was a thing. No, you just didn't step outside camp. So I'm just using this as an example of how this is a bit strange. And it just shows that there's other levels, apart from government with this sneaky beaky stuff going on. That was enough to cause controversy, just the wearing their weapons in the real world. This would not happen anywhere. If that got out into the public sphere, this would be an international incident.
It must be some special thing to do with like anti-Kira operations or something like that.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of Black Ops, totally deniable. If it got out in the public, then it'd be denied or covered up or something.
That sounds like good enough reasoning for me.
But this is the bit where Yagami finally confronts Milo. He sees his name and he starts to write it down in the book. But at the last minute, he can't do it. It's not who he is.
Yeah. I love the fact that you've got light in the background thinking like, why aren't you writing his name? Write his name. Do it. He's right there in front of you. You can see his name. The thing is, Light's got his name because when he sees him, he reads his name out loud. Yagami reads his name out.
He read the first part of his name. He didn't read the second part because that's when he gets shot in the back. He didn't. He only read out the first part, the sort of Eastern European name, but he doesn't read out. He doesn't get a chance to read out the surname because that's when he gets shot in the back.
Can we just have a moment to say how good like these Japanese or American kind of like ballistic vests are?
You can actually hear it, tick, as a ricochet, and you're like
that thing took an entire clip of what I'm guessing was 9mm, and he totally. It's like Chief Yagami basically like stood there with his arms outstretched and took the entire thing and didn't fall over until the gun stopped.
And in fact, you heard the ricochet as well of the plate.
I mean, I always thought when people wearing like a ballistic vest or like a plate carrier, when they got shot, they fell over anyway because it bloody hurts.
Yeah, the impact, but yeah, probably not in this case.
So once again, Yamagi proving he is the man.
But this is the bit where all goes wrong. Melo had set up explosives. And to escape, that's it. He just basically detonates everything. I thought that was it. I thought that was the end. They're all gone.
Yep.
But
Chief Yamagi survived. The next time you see him, he's in hospital. I was actually thinking, it's not bullet wounds that's put him in hospital. It's blunt trauma. His insides have been turned into jam.
Yeah, because that's they don't have to penetrate to do the, it's the shockwave impact, it's like explosion.
Yeah, plate carrier or not, no, that many bullets is good. Plate or not, that many bullets is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
That thing is gonna ring like a bell every time it gets hit.
Yep. Plus an explosion on top of that. Yeah, he's not in a good way. But this is the bit where has Light set his father up to exonerate him, or was the purpose for his father's image of his son not to be tarred? Like, is this the last drop of humanity leaving light?
That is a very good question. And no matter how far you dig, you will not find a definitive answer for it. I'd like to think personally, everybody knows I hate Light's guts. Oh god, he's my least favorite anime character. He really is. But I honestly think he did it for his father.
I think that was the only thing tethering him to humanity. His
Yeah,
father.
yeah.
That was his last
Now
vestige.
now is because it's kind of like it's quite apparent through several of the episodes that he absolutely hero worships his father. Because isn't like the whole one of the whole reasons that he wants to make the world this better place free of evil is so his father can retire and have a quiet life.
Something. I mean, it's the only sign that we see Light's
Something
humanity
along
is
those lines.
with
Yeah.
his father. Everyone else is disposable. The only person he's not used up to this point has been his father, and this is the line. This is the final line of Light. Being human. So essentially, the injuries. Yagami hasn't much time left. He still has the Shimigami eyes.
Right, but the question is,
If Light hadn't have given up
yeah,
ownership of the
like,
Death Note before this mission,
which makes you ask, did Light know this was going to happen? Or did he, well, no, he must have known that Yagami was going to make the deal with Ryuk. But in fact, he was the one who told his father to make the deal with Ryuk. Which means the moment he met his father again, he was going to be able to see that Light had had contact with the Death Note.
yep, ownership of it, not just. He would see that he was Kira, basically, because he wouldn't be able to see his timeline. So that, had he planned that far ahead and maybe not for his father's death, this is what we're not too sure of, because he's that far gone. You don't know if his grief is genuine or a performance. That's how depraved Light is as a character.
And there's no way to find out.
Because even at that point, we see him in his darkest moments, but even then, he still holds back. It's. Yeah, this is not a pleasant person.
The worst things out. It's like after a series, Death Note is finished. Death Note is like ended. After an anime, after a manga has ended, the creator, the writer, the artist, tends to like open up on it, and you can ask them questions. Yeah. The name of the person who created Death Note is a pseudonym. No one actually knows who really wrote Death Note. So you can't even ask the creator.
Oh dear, they've done that deliberately then, just to keep the.
It's like the guy who wrote Death Note, the guy who wrote Death Note under that name has written I think it's 4 or 5 different manga. None of them are anything like Death Note.
No, this is definitely a unique thing, but
this is like someone getting all his darkness and all his hatred off the chest.
Yeah, but the fact that we can't even believe if Light is genuinely upset, or is this the final straw? Is the grief, is the fact that he's lost his father, is that his last tether to humanity? And is this then going to be his descent? We don't know.
Did you expect it? Did you expect it while Light was wailing and crying and sobbing over the death of his father, for the camera to drop down and just see him with that stupid grin on his face?
It doesn't surprise me. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to question here.
Mm.
Is that an act, or is the actual realization, is this the death, the true death of light, and the true birth of Kira? Kira basically just being all that's left. Is this the
Yeah, because
last tethers of
it,
humanity
it,
disappearing,
it,
or had he
it,
planned this the whole time? Because in terms of the series, it makes sense. He's going to have to lose everybody around him because that's the
yeah.
story, the moral of the
See,
story.
but right. I don't think even as Kira, I don't think he would have sent his father in there to die, because, like we said, he's the only person he actually like respects. He's the only person he responds to. His father is the only person who can tell him what to do,
Mhm.
and he'll actually go and do it. I don't think he deliberately sent his father in there to die. I think he was expecting his father to like use the death note to kill Mello, but he didn't, and he gave people time to like react to what he was doing.
Because his father is a cold-blooded killer. At the end of the day, yeah, he's
So
killed in the name of his duty, but he's not.
I think at the end, yes, I think that in the scene where his father dies, I think that Light's grief is real. That's it. That is like the death of his father is the thing that turns him into Kira.
And that's where Kira then comes out. Just that thought of,
Yeah,
that's it.
that is where Light ends and Kira continues.
Yeah, like, just the way this is set up could be either. That's what makes this interesting, is that you're left with you're not told. You have to figure out yourself and go with your gut how you feel about it. So that's what I like about this.
See, like if I watch it again or after the next couple of episodes, I could completely change my point of view on that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's you're not getting railroaded. You're not being told this is the answer. You're left with enough ambiguity and doubt to sort of, and that's why we can have these discussions, because it's not laid out in black and white. You're not just paint by numbers, go through, and you're told everything that happens. They don't do stuff like this anymore. That's what's so disappointing about entertainment today.
Right,
Is
they do still do stuff like this. Unfortunately, not in the West.
that the reason why you go to a comic book store and 90% of it's now manga and only 10% Western comics?
Yep, pretty much.
Because somewhere we lost our way in storytelling, so we're being deservedly punished
It,
for it.
it's like most like the most popular comic books out there at the moment are Marvel. Like the most public,
No,
the
they're
biggest,
down to death. Marvel hasn't made a profit.
the biggest comic producers out in the West are there's Marvel, there's DC, Dark Horse, Image.
Can't remember, yeah.
Viz Media, which used to do a lot of anime, but I think they started doing their own stuff. So I've got loads of Viz Media books. Squinting at the shelves, but yeah.
But
it's
DC
like
and Marvel, believe it or
yeah,
not, as comics have not made a
DC,
profit. They're being propped up by other countries or companies.
DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, and Image are all famous for superheroes. A lot of them are superheroes that people have never heard of, like Gen 13 or Astro City.
Who's
It's like
Todd McFarlane's company?
Marvel and DC are dying because it's like every single one of their superheroes, although they wear a different mask and have different powers, are all the same.
Mm-hmm. Who's Todd McFarlane's company? Is that Image?
I'm gonna have to Google this.
Because that's like a little, like Larry knows the Spawn series and that, and
yeah.
But those two companies are on life support. They haven't made a profit in years, and it's only because of the IP, the licensing, that they still exist at all. And that's what I mean. Nobody's banned them. Nobody cares. I stopped caring years ago.
You're like this. Image Comics, yeah, are the people who do Tales from the Crypt, which I thoroughly recommend and you would enjoy. The only problem is like you're going to have to look for them because I think they finished publishing in 50 something.
Yeah, it's they're hard to get hold of. Even
But
reprints.
they are still some of the best horror comics out there. But it's a shame that everything went to superhero. Image has been around for so long, though.
Yeah, but what I mean is because they've just died and they're not telling, they're not telling the stories anymore, and that there's no intrigue, nobody cares, and that's the market just going, nah, not interested. You can do the high whys, pros and cons, or whatever else, but it doesn't matter if people aren't interested. They're not going to go and spend their money, and that's just showing. I mean, it's just showing it. The fact that manga is a dominant, comic, and the fact that they're still making adaptations. I just said, I mean, if there wasn't the money there, they wouldn't do it. It's just
Yeah,
it's just basics, if you can't keep doing stuff, uh, there's only so much venture capital or so much people put into stuff. And I'm finding this out personally,
Mm.
with my little
Oh, God, yes.
project, that there's only so much money. You'll get to a point where there's only so much money you can put into it where you need to start seeing stuff back. Because that's just, it's just, you want the thing to keep going. There needs to be a market, there needs to be people interested. There's no point doing it otherwise, or it's just a vanity project. And vanity projects only last so long.
This is true, and it's knowing the difference. It's knowing when to stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the
Yeah,
fact
and
that
it's
manga are
like,
still telling engaging stories and creating interesting characters that people can relate with.
yeah,
Like,
it's like manga. Like manga has had its problem times as well, because it's like there are no matter how many people you've got, no matter how many authors you have out there, you can only tell like the same story so many times.
well, that's it. There's only 7 stories. That's everything boils down to the original 7 stories. But that's fine. You can still uh mix it up. But the fact that they're still thriving, and the fact that we can still talk about a show like this
Mm.
years after it's been out, and we're still intrigued by it. And like I said, this isn't the first time I've watched it, but I'm still getting something from it this time around, because the first time I just watched it to watch it, not the review, and decades ago now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that we can ask this question: is that true? Is it from this angle, from that angle? Just shows that the storytelling that gets you interested, that you want to ask the questions.
Mm.
There's very rarely when new stuff coming out that I find myself asking these questions, because there's nothing there, very little, which is a shame. But anyway, this is about C2 gets his Death Note back, and he goes back to the Shinigami world.
I'm going to be honest. Shame.
He
I
was a
liked
cool
it.
character, yeah.
I kind of wish back. I kind of wish that this like plot line had stayed open a bit longer, so we could have had more of him.
But that's what I mean. It's a completely different pace now. We're getting things wrapped up in one episode, where before this would have been like a 3-episode arc.
Yeah, but it's, you've got to be honest. It's like that ever since. It's like we said. It's like that ever since Elle's death. It's as if when you get the episode where Elle dies, and then it's like someone stamped on the accelerator. Like, okay, right, then, we've got to get this done.
Who can stand against Kira? The only thing that was holding Kira back was he was trying not to be discovered by Elle.
Mm.
Now he doesn't have that, because he doesn't see Near as even anywhere same level as Elle. He doesn't regard
Mello, though.
he doesn't regard Mello. Mello's a wild card, but he doesn't see him as an equal.
And
The
say,
police, they're the same when he's talking to all the police, and he's like, oh, "This is too easy now." And he sees the ghost of Elle. He's like, "There's no challenge anymore with these mere mortals."
But it's like, I've got another answer for your question.
Mhm.
Who can stand against Kira? Not the president of the United States.
No, because this is the last episode here. the government basically goes, we're not going to pursue Kira anymore. Kira's word is law. And you're like, whoops. That's, when you get an official government statement, that's pretty significant.
Mr. President, what do you mean by that? He runs out the room, pursued by the NSA.
He's going, wah. But also it's interesting. Near comes to the conclusion that the new L2 is Kira, but he's 7% certain.
It's like that's a big step up from like
L was only 5% certain. But I think it's because, like I said, because L's taken out of the picture, Kira's accelerated and he's got a recklessness about him because he doesn't think anybody can stand in his way.
But I like the I like the discussion that like the anti-Kira squad has, which starts with Matsura saying that, you know what, maybe Kira isn't as evil as people are making out.
And yeah, I forget him. Yama begins with Y, jumps on him straight away.
Yes. How can you say? Yeah, how can you say that? Technically, still a murderer.
But that's the thing, Matsura, when he does speak, he keeps getting written off.
I say he's the kind of guy where the moment he starts to speak, they just kind of like flick a hand in his direction and shut him off.
Which is uncalled for.
I actually think I said this before in the episode where he invades like the evil corporation's headquarters. He's a lot smarter than he comes across, because it's like the moment he gets caught, instantly he's thinking on his feet.
And that's what you need. Nah, it's they're unfair to him, but like I said, he does have insight, and he just thinks out loud. And then this is supposed to be a think tank, but any thoughts quashed, if it's not the right one.
It's like a lot of things these days. It's a think tank as long as your thoughts follow the direction of everyone else's.
Yeah, which is
because we don't like individual ideas in here anymore.
This is the interesting one where we see I didn't know who that was in the shower.
No, at the moment, because it's like hello, side boob.
It wasn't me, so I knew that there, and it wasn't the
hair was
the girl, the one that was the cat burglar, because she got killed.
Yeah,
she got wiped out.
Because that's the thing. It's like that was in the things have happened in the past few years, and now Light is a detective, and you basically see him killing off all of L's accomplices.
So it wasn't her. So I'm like, who the hell is this? So it turns out she's one of Near's assistants.
It wasn't until they actually walked in. He actually walked into like Near's kind of like base of operations that I was like, oh yeah, there was a blonde woman who survived the attack.
Yeah, because she was to the background. But yeah, basically Near turns up, or sorry, Mello turns up with Near, and he just explains everything he's found out. That the Death Note, the Shimigami, the whole lot. It's interesting that Near's so casual about it, considering the fact he took out most of his team.
That's mentioned, isn't it? It's like everybody's doing a Mexican standoff, and Near's like, put down your guns. It's like, but he killed everybody. Have you forgotten about that? Put down your guns. He's not here to kill anyone else. I think he says like one word and all the guns are pointing at each other again.
Mm-hmm. No, it was
What's Near doing during this Mexican standoff? Playing on the floor with a train set.
But I think that's the whole, I mean, it's the equivalent of L with the loads of just constantly eating the cupcakes. It's like they need something to be these sort of people. Maybe it's the academies made them, gave them that or something. Because you all seem to have a certain tick. It's the same with Mello with the chocolate. I mean, they have this certain thing about them, like a compulsion. And they have the all exercise it out a certain way.
Can't actually remember what they talk about. I can only remember the bit that happens at the end.
Yeah, where basically Near gives him his photograph and says there's no other records of his.
Oh, that's it. He came. The only reason he came was to get his photograph.
Mm-hmm. And we also see that he didn't go unscathed. He was burned by the fire.
Gotta be honest, he looks better with that scar.
But more of an intensity.
Like his slightly crazy gun wielding exterior is now complete.
So this is a bit where, after that's done, this is where N reaches out to L. Now, we don't have anywhere near the same relationship. They're still new quantities to each other, so it's still very fragile, if that makes sense. We can see that.
I love it's like other L, this is N. We've captured Mello. It's really good news. But he escaped. You let him go, didn't you? No, he escaped. That I do like the way they started like chucking like little bits of comedy into the mix.
Yeah, you have to have those little moments of levity because this is grim. Like this is a grim series. There's no doubt about it.
As we know from watching some of the other episodes of Death Note. No, you don't. It's like it's okay to have like 3 or 4 different episodes which are each equally as grim, back to back. That's what other anime shows are for, to make you feel better.
Yeah, this is not making you feel good about humanity whatsoever. And it's the ultimate warning, isn't it? Ultimate power corrupts, or absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's that sort of thing. This is where they still don't trust each other. They're still feeling each other out. But this is where N offers to take out Mello.
Yes, interesting.
But we also get another development as well. The sleazy producer from the TV channel, back from the live broadcast, has now decided to announce himself as Kira's spokesman.
That's just it. He's become like the mouthpiece of Kira. And he's
because he was given the tapes.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. It took me a while. It took me a while. It wasn't until like when he appears towards the end of this episode that it actually clicked who he was again.
Yeah, sort of first time. Like I remembered that he was the one that was given the tapes from the second Kira, and this is from the raid. It's just interesting the way they brought him back. So that once again that shows how this whole thing, we think this is all being played above humanity as if it's been a game of the gods, but humans do get involved. It's almost like the Greek pentathlon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Zeus and Hera and all are having their shenanigans, and they don't even realize that what they do affects mortals, and then mortals' entire destinies change because of a whim of the gods. It's almost like that sort of thing being played out here. So you've got this TV producer who got touched essentially by Kira, got affected by the Death Note, and then this is how it's transpired. Sayu's been the most drastic one, I think.
Yes.
We've seen the effects of, basically being kidnapped, taken to, almost dying, and seeing these high-level games.
I honestly think that when you saw her being pushed around the hospital yard by a mother, I honestly think that's the last we'll see of her.
Yeah, and even the mother sitting on the kitchen table with her father.
Yeah, because after Tsukigami died, there was a scene of their mother sitting alone with their head in their hands at the table.
Yeah, that was the last of, like I said, Light's humanity going. But we still got this new game, and the new game is Mello and Near. Near doesn't know how to utilize Kira yet, or L.
Mm. But when they do,
then this is about where M makes the offer. He believes that Kira is operating within the police. Well, he didn't. Yeah, he said the police. He didn't say the headquarters, did he?
No, he didn't.
Kept it
But
vague enough. He didn't straight out point the finger at Light, but he says, "I believe one of you know who Kira is. Here's the number I'm about to give you. Call me if you think you have information."
gotta be honest, that was such a great scene, because it's like the moment Nia says that, it's like the other guys who are kind of like working in the the office with Light, just kind of like give him a glance out the corner of their eyes. A great scene.
Yeah, but it makes sense as well, because they're almost being treated as background characters, not that they have people with thoughts and feelings or suspicions. And yeah, it just shows what's underlying in the surface. This is the interesting. It was Matsura and why I can't remember his surname.
His name begins with the guy who cut his hair so that nobody would recognize him.
Yep. He's one. I know what you're thinking. Once again, Matsura is showing his insight that he keeps getting written off for. He's like, I know what you're thinking, and if you think it's the right thing to do, do it.
Do it.
And that's, once again, Matsura's got the finger on the pulse. He's got that insight that he gets underappreciated. But then we'll have the bit, obviously, Kira then decides to blackmail the US president.
It's like, have we mentioned the fact where it's like, if I know what you're thinking, and if you think it's the right thing, do it, while Light, aka Kira, is standing outside the door listening to what they're saying. So we all know how well that's going to end up.
Oh, I forgot that bit. Yeah,
which is a shame, because it's like every time something has happened, every time something important has happened, I'm pretty sure that Matsura has been there and is one of the guys who's at least partially responsible for it.
but that's because he's to the front anyway. Just, like I said, he keeps getting written off as an idiot, but when it comes down to it, he's actually got insight. He's got value. It's just the arrogance, of the rest of the team, etc.
Yeah,
because he's the youngest and least experienced, but still, he earned his place, and he keeps getting disrespected. But it's moments like this that he shows that he has great insight, and this is what sets him, makes him a worthy member. He knows what's going to happen, and he basically says, "Yeah, go ahead. If that's what you think is the right thing to do it."
He's earned his place in that squad 1,000,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
He has.
But this is the bit as well. Then that Kira basically goes to present. The SPK is still looking for me. Get rid of them.
Do as I say, and you'll live a long life.
Where is it? Yeah, they found it. It is Near's headquarters, isn't it? That's where the security TV and all these people
because it's
are
like
descend upon.
it's like see, this is where I recognise because it's like Sakura TV's like spokesman has gone over to America to take part in this big kind of like reveal of where the people who are like hunting their lord Kira are actually like stationed.
It's funny how it looks exactly like the 1L belt.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're not that ingenious. They're being programmed to think a certain way or operate a certain way.
Yeah.
This academy,
Which would come across as to why like Near was picked to do this instead of Mello, because Mello thinks the absolute opposite way.
mm-hmm.
It's like Near and L, cold, calculated, clinical thinkers. Mello, very
He's similar
passionate.
to Misa. Yeah, he's similar to Misa.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Light has already beaten L.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So the same thing, you know, he's able to accelerate now against Near because it's like a not as good version.
Yeah, because
Easier.
it's
So
kind
this
of
is why
like,
this is happening quicker.
yeah, he knows that Near is going to react in exactly the same way that L did, and that Near, like L, will follow the law.
Mm-hmm.
Won't do anything like stupid. Won't do anything like out of left field. Whereas Mello is quite happy to do whatever the hell he wants or needs to get it done.
That's what makes him dangerous. I don't think we're finished with Mello yet.
No, I think he's going to play a big part.
Yep. Oh, Aizawa, that's who it was. Yeah, it was Aizawa. Sorry, that's the bit because this happens after the building attack. Or the news Sakura TV and all arrives. Yeah, this bit we'll have the conversation. It's Aizawa, who has been a straight arrow the whole time, and this is basically he signed his own death warrant because, yeah, Kira overhears him.
Yeah, but how could but it's like yes, it's like someone within the police department is Kira. I'm sure of it, and they have that conversation. How can Light kill him? Because isn't that going to like out him as Kira?
This is the bit, like I said, where he doesn't. I think he's getting to the point where he doesn't care anymore. That even if he is discovered, there's nobody can stop him. Because even at this point, he even made the comment that it's no challenge dealing with the police officer, you know, and even his own father when he was there, you know, he's dealing with him is not a challenge at all. And that's where he sort of missed his friend, you know, he saw the ghost of Near, you know, just appearing sitting in the seat. Once Near's gone, which is what they're doing now, this is Misa's at the ready, watching through the video feed, waiting for Near to appear. And then that's where she's going to strike. And that's kind of where we got left in. They're busy, they're raiding. But I think at this point, Kira doesn't care if he's discovered now. Once he gets rid of this last hurdle, obstruction, I don't even know if he has even factored in Miro in anymore or Milo in anymore.
Has he ever?
It was more like an annoyance.
It was kind of like it's like there's another one.
Yep.
Oh, but exactly. He's never really considered N to be a threat, has he?
No, not Anne. No.
And it's like the thing is like
Milo's the only one that's actually came close to harming him because he actually got to his family. But then again, Milo doesn't know it's his family.
No.
No, I think, like I said, I know next stream we're finishing this off.
Yeah.
But I think when Kira takes out Near, Milo's going to want to go after him because he was the one that was meant to beat Near, not Kira.
It's like
It's going to be one of them weird revenge things.
Near is Milo's biggest rival.
Mhm. So if
yes,
somebody else beats Near, that's going to set Milo off because then that's his adversary gone. His whole purpose for being is to beat him. If he's taken out, then it's going to be partially revenge, partially his own compulsion. Here's the next person I must beat. That's what I think is going to bring Milo back into it.
That wouldn't surprise me. I do hope it does that because, like I've said, I think Milo is a way bigger threat to Kira than any of the clinical thinkers will be.
Yeah. The fact that he hasn't taken out Misa shows that he can't deal with her. She completely bamboozles him to a point.
But the fact that she has her own death note is too useful for him, I think.
But he could always give that to somebody else. He could get her, she'll essentially do what he tells him. So she could get her to hand over the death note and give it to somebody more compliant. Do you know what I mean? There's something about her, like he just doesn't know how to deal with, so he tolerates her, if that makes sense. But the likes of Near, he's going to take out. I think Near's going to get taken out easily. Then we're going to see what happens. It's going to be Milo who's the one who's going to step up. And then that's how this is going to come to its conclusion.
He's going to have to do it quickly because there's only 7 episodes left.
That's true. So there you go, folks. When we're back again, we're finishing this off. And then we'll have a sort of a discussion about it, where it was good, where it was bad, where it could be tightened up a bit, or where we need to see more of. Then we'll see what we're doing next after that. No, this is fun. I really enjoyed this group of episodes. It really changed the pace and gave us something new. It almost feels like a season 2, doesn't it?
Pardon?
It almost feels like a season 2.
I think I'm pretty sure it was originally split into like more than one season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like since the death of L, since L was taken out, the entire thing has just been way faster.
Yeah, because that was his lodestone. That was the thing holding him back. That game. And complain about the pace, I think it was useful. Now we're going to see what he's like unfettered. And we're already seeing it now. Once that his only challenge, his only equal was removed. If L hadn't have come into the scene at all, if there was no L, this would have happened in like 6 episodes, in terms of time. Kira would have been unstoppable. So I think as a whole, there's a reason this is still regarded as a great anime and that we still talk about it and go back to it. I mean, you watch it as a whole, I think there's a reason why it's still like, oh, that's really good. But that's what I mean. At the end of the next one, we can go for it. When we finally get to the end.
Then we'll start asking the question, what's next?
Yep. Well, that'll be a spin of the wheel. There's plenty.
The wheel will run for the first time in months.
But there you go. Thanks, Faye, as always. Great to have you on board. And
always a pleasure, sir.
Thanks for everybody for turning up. And just sees him say, until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.